Ruby. My name is Elle. My mom's behind the camera today. Shout out to her for helping out with the video. So this is actually going to be my very last video with Ruby. I wanted to give you guys one last good thorough tour video. Now that she's all cleaned out, all my stuff's out of here, I'm actually getting ready to sell her, or I am trying to sell her actively, so if you're interested, as of right now, she's still available. But yeah, let's jump into it and I'll show you around.
Like a buttercup, you're a puppy dog. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall, won't stop till I get enough.
So, this is the main area of the build. We've got our sleeping setup here. So I've got a 4-inch thick memory foam mattress with some wool on top. So with this sleeping setup, you can definitely leave the passenger seat in the position that it's in, and that still is plenty of room for me. But you could also bring the seat forward, and that gives you a little bit more space to kind of lean back. But super easy to have a passenger still if you want. There's still plenty of leg room, and then some cabinets that are kind of like easy reach in, easy access stuff. All of my custom fit, my insulated window coverings, I've kind of just kept stashed up there on my most recent camping trips. And then I've got cabinets over on this side, and then this is the kitchen area, so I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. So I've got this added support here so that this can bear some weight. I still usually don't put like a whole lot on it, but it's enough to kind of just add to the surface area. That goes in there to hold that up. So you can either use the stove right here, or if it's not so windy, you could pull it out and just set it on top. And I've got a drawer here for storage. Usually keep all my cooking stuff in there. And this little cubby hole, oh yeah, the soft close drawer. Nice investment. This little cubby hole I measured to fit a water brick. I ended up having a lot of leak issues with that brand, so I'm not super happy, not sure I would recommend them, at least not for something that's going to be stored on its side. If it's stored vertically, it's fine. I tried to replace the spout and I still had the same problem where it was leaking from the same area, so I think it's just more of a faulty design, unfortunately. But yeah, so that's this whole area. There's also room up here for stuff and a ton of room on the sides. It's kind of hard to see, but I do have some cans of fuel back here, but there's a lot of room if you can just reach your arm back there. And then on this side, I designed the cabinet around that cubby hole, and this is just the way that Foresters are kind of built, where they have these really deep spaces here, so definitely wanted to take advantage of that. And then underneath the bed, so if you've ever seen a new Forester, you might know that there's a spare tire compartment down here. So what I did, since I knew I was going to go to a full-size spare on the roof, we just lined that compartment out with this auto carpeting and just made it into a nice big storage area. So it's got quite a bit of space. It goes underneath this way pretty far, as well as going like back under here. So under here and over there. So a ton of space there. I'll take you up front. Alright, so coming in on this side of things, I usually use this little cubby hole for some extra storage too, and then you come around this side. I'm just gonna hop in here. So I've got, you can access this from the other side. This whole storage compartment is separated from the back there, and then there's also down underneath, this is where I kept like my camera tripod and things like that. I usually kept my shoes here. And then on the other side, we've got this lower cubby hole here. I currently have this little bag, which has my window screens. These again are something that I handmade, and they are good if you want to keep the windows open for ventilation, but you don't want to let bugs in, and they're just magnetic in the corners. Just sewed magnets in there for those. This is a little table, so it just slides out and is supported underneath there. And then we've got this storage cabinet here, Also has a light inside, which you probably can't see right now.
Yeah.
And then you can see the ceiling here, actually, maybe. So I removed the headliner up until this point where the light is, to give myself some more headroom when I'm actually just sitting back in here. Before, my head was like just kind of barely hitting the ceiling, which is really annoying if you're sitting in here for any long period, as I was living out of this thing for a year and a half. So that was really nice to be able to lift up the headboard a little bit. And then also when I did that, since I had all this stuff removed, I insulated it with Havelock wool insulation. I think you can probably see some of it on the side. Yeah, there we go. So some of it's poking out, but I have that stuffed into like every nook and cranny in this whole rear area, and then some thicker pads up here, as well as underneath in all the cargo storage areas. So that helps quite a bit with insulation, both for heat and for cold. So wool is a really, really awesome material that helps keep things warm when you want them warm and keep them cool when you want them cool. So onwards. So underneath here I have another storage cubby that is kind of just what would have been the foot area for the rear passenger. So the main thing that's occupying this right now is my dual battery system. So this battery is hooked up to the main engine compartment battery, and it is also hooked up to an inverter, which I'll show you in a second. So it gives me power so that we are fully off the grid all the time, never have to worry about having power. And then this is just, again, hard to see how far back that goes, but a nice big storage area, as well as kind of down there too. So tons of room for gear, all the fun things. So here's that inverter that I mentioned. So yeah, it's got the 2 regular plugs and 2 USB, and you can check the power draw there. And then there's more cargo storage underneath here and underneath here. Keep one of these things around. That's super handy if you need to step up and access the roof rack, where I have my full-size spare tire, a cargo box just for extra storage space, and then a little bit of extra gas. I think this is about 1.3 gallons. Trying not to flash the camera. Other things over here, I've got a little trash can here, some hooks. These were antlers that we found hiking out in Arizona on private land where the ranch was. And again, you can access this whole area for extra storage. All right. What else? Ditch lights. These little bad boys. Moose lights, as we call them in Alaska. These are super, super bright, and I have a switch wired up here in the front. So they just turn on and off right here. I think that's about it. Yeah. So that is Ruby, my 2014 Subaru Forester, soon to have a new home, hopefully, but she's treated me really well. Like I said, I was full-time living out of this for about a year and a half, doing seasonal work, but also just doing extended camping trips and living out of it. So yeah, it's been a really great vehicle. Thanks for watching. I hope this gives you some inspiration if you're working on your own builds. And yeah, take care. I'll see you next time.
Baby, I'm as young as the night. I wanna dance right now. On the floor, I feel so alive. Don't stop, turn it up. 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 Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We're going hard. some more into my cup. Sparkling star, crystal glitter all over. Get in my car, let's go to my favorite club. Rich like a queen, all my clothes are designer. Life is a dream.
I tried to replace the whole the spout. Let me start that sentence over. New Forester, you might know that in the it's fine, just a jumping bungee cord. So, okay. So here's that.
Don't stop till